Gedonia 2 is a low-budget, open-world RPG made by a solo developer. It can be played solo or with friends in co-op. It's not a highly cinematic or fully voice-acted experience. Instead, it's focused on systems, freedom, and experimentation. It's the kind of game where you'll run into some clunky mechanics, but also find a lot of depth if you're willing to dig into it. The design draws inspiration from older open-world RPGs like Morrowind or Gothic 2. That means lots of freedom, a flexible character system, and a world that doesn't hold your hand, but also rough edges in terms of polish, animations, and pacing. Gedonia 2 tries to give you that same sense of building your own path, but at a much smaller scale, with indie-level trade-offs and a lower price to match. The game doesn't lock you into a class. You build your character by choosing from multiple skill trees that include melee, ranged, stealth, and several types of magic. Each ability you unlock can be customized with its own mini-skill path. For example, a fireball spell can later be upgraded to explode on impact or travel faster. Your build depends entirely on where you put your points. That means you can make almost any combination, like a summoner who wears heavy armor or a sneaky rogue who uses healing magic. Now let's talk about progression. Leveling is split between combat and crafting. Fighting enemies levels up your combat stats. Gathering and creating items levels up your crafting skills. They grow separately, so crafting won't make you stronger in battle unless you also invest in the right skills. Your stats, like strength or intelligence, affect what you can unlock. Some skills require specific attributes, so you'll have to plan ahead if you want certain high-tier abilities. Crafting is a big part of the game if you want it to be. You can gather resources and use them to make weapons, armor, potions, food, and more. Materials come from exploring the world, mining ores, picking herbs, hunting animals. Recipes are unlocked as you level up each profession. A strong focus on crafting can give you gear that competes with or even outperforms what you find in the world. You can also enchant items to add special effects or cook food to boost stats. If you're not into crafting, you can ignore most of it. But if you are, it's a complete progression path with real rewards. The next thing we should talk about is combat. It's real-time and fully manual. You attack, dodge, block, and aim yourself. It's not flashy, and the animations and hit detection can feel clunky at times. You might notice stiffness when swinging weapons or casting spells, and some feedback may feel off. That said, it's responsive enough to support different builds, and if you stick with it, you can make the combat work the way you want. You can use melee weapons like swords and axes, bows for ranged combat, or spells for damage and support. There are different magic schools with their own spell types. Some spells combine with others. For example, wet enemies take more lightning damage. If you invest in summoning, you can call in creatures to fight alongside you. You can also use mounts in combat, like shooting arrows while riding a horse. Fights reward awareness and positioning. Enemy attacks are often telegraphed. That means if you pay attention, you can dodge or interrupt them. Strong enemies don't just have more health. They tend to hit harder or have more advanced abilities. Skill matters more than just having the highest level, especially in tough encounters. Now, last but not least, let's talk about the world. It's fully open. You're free to go anywhere from the start. There are no loading screens between regions. It's not the most detailed or densely packed world, but there's plenty to find. You'll come across dungeons, hidden chests, puzzles, and faction bases. Some areas are more dangerous, but you're never hard-blocked from entering. You can also get mounts to travel faster. The game includes random events that change the world slightly. Meteors might crash and spawn monsters. Faction bases might come under siege. These events can reward you if you handle them, or reshape the area if you don't. The world won't always stay the same, depending on what you do or ignore. Quests are not fully voice acted and don't use cinematics. They're mostly text-based with branching outcomes. There are multiple factions with different quest lines. Joining them unlocks new abilities and gear, and quests can often be approached in different ways. A warrior might break down a door, a rogue might sneak in, a charismatic character might talk their way through. Some dialogue options depend on your background or stats, which adds variety depending on your build. You can build your own house and customize it with crafting. It's not the focus of the game, but it's there for players who enjoy base building and want a personal space. The game supports co-op for up to 4 players. Progress is tied to the host, but guests can join even if they're at a different point in the story. Combat roles can be shared, and you can team up for world events, dungeons, or just explore together. Gedonia 2 isn't trying to compete with AAA RPGs. It's a systems-driven indie game that gives you tools and freedom, with fewer cutscenes and more player control. There's a lot of content for the price, but it does come with rough edges. If you're okay with that, it might offer more than you expect. That was it! If you liked my breakdown of Gedonia 2 without bias and focused on what you can expect, then please consider to like and subscribe. Regardless, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.